1 2 1 2. 1 2 1. Okay, no, cool. We're up. We're up. We're booming. Nice. Okay. Load game. Yeah, I just want to stream a classic, a game of my childhood, so to say. I don't even know why, because I've got all the characters. Haven't 100% completed it because I haven't gone for all the mini kits, but I don't really care, to be honest. I just love this game, like, absolutely love it. It is probably one of the best games I've ever played. I'm going to turn this down a lot more just so I can hear myself speak. Not that I like the sound of my own voice, but yeah, here we have the 13, no, call it 11 year early prediction. Obviously, last year it broke the news that broke the internet. RDJ is playing Doctor Doom. I don't know if I've actually spoke much about that. Probably not. I've been very MIA from the internet for a long time, so a lot of this is pretty new, like talking stuff. Obviously, I haven't spoke much since the I haven't spoke at all actually since the casting, and I haven't put my extras on. Naked detector, gold brick detector, fast builds, attract studs, extra hearts. As you can see, I'm a bit of a veteran when it comes to like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want that instead. There you go. Christmas is too early for any of that stuff, sorry. But, yeah. Yeah, Doomsday's happening, and it's probably the most anticipated. Well, that and Secret Wars, I would say, are probably the most, like, excited that I've been for a film since Endgame, ironically. Obviously, there's been a few that I've really, really enjoyed. The main sort of four that I would say would be No Way Home, Guardians 3, Deadpool and Wolverine, and now Fantastic Four. Excellent film, honestly. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought Fantastic Four, it's my favourite Fantastic Four film. It's kind of hard saying that though, because I adored the 2005 film. The 2007 one was good, but a lot of flaws with that one. But the 2005 film with Ioan Gruffudd, Michael Chiklis, Jessica Alba, Chris Evans as Human Torch, like that film. Julian, oh god, he passed away recently. I feel horrible not remembering his name. Oh Christ. I'll look it up. But the actor who played Doctor Doom, God rest his soul, absolutely incredible performance. You know, I could sing his praises for eternity. I thought his role as Doom was excellent, and I really hope that they give him a touching tribute in Doomsday, because he absolutely smashed it. Absolutely smashed that role. 20 years ago. Yeah, the new one, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was, I have my doubts about Pedro Pascal. I do agree, I'm kind of sick of him. Loved him as Din Djarin. Thought he was good as Joel, and then, yeah, that whole show is a rant for another day. But yeah, I absolutely love Pedro's portrayal of Reed. I thought it was so good, and it actually made me a bit excited to see him again in Doomsday. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of other cast members that I'm excited to see more, both MCU veterans and also just Marvel veterans in general, who are returning in Doomsday. But credit where it's due, I think Pedro Pascal did an incredible job. He did a really good job, as did the whole cast. My slight of the film, sorry if that noise sounded inappropriate, I didn't mean for it to, but it kind of just sounded weird saying that. Um, I wish the Thing got more screen time. That's a massive personal bias of mine because the Thing is my favourite member of the Fantastic Four. He always has been, always will be, and I think it's because of how much I loved Michael Chiklis's work, and I was really getting into Ebon Moss-Backrack's Thing. I loved the fact that he went to a synagogue. I love the fact that they really did go down. They went hard on the Yancey Street law, which is a big part of the character. I just wish we got more of him. But then I feel like that's more of a testament to Ebon Moss-Backrack's work because he just did such a good job. It was like whenever the film would cut to another character, I was like, oh, give me the Thing. I do think that Michael Chiklis' delivery of It's Clobbering Time was a lot better, but it didn't make it any less satisfying hearing Eben say it in the film. I thought it was such a good delivery, just not as good, in my opinion, as the 2005 version. I thought that in terms of the best character in the film, the two that I'm going to give it to are no doubt Stu and Johnny. Sue was kind of expected because I love the Invisible Woman. I'd say she's my second favourite member. Absolutely adored Jessica Alba's performance in the 2000s film, as with Johan Griffith. But like Vanessa Kirby just really understood the role, and hearing her in like press interviews with like Josh Horowitz and stuff, probably mispronounced his name, but she really understood the complexity of the character, and also she even understood like why she's called the Invisible Woman and all the detail and the lore behind her. She felt like so much more than just Reed's wife or the girl of the Fantastic. She felt like so much more. She really did live up to her name, and I thought she was just incredible. I do feel like she stole the show. Now Joseph Quinn was the one I was probably least interested in going into the film as Johnny Storm, because I don't know why I could have done this actually playing with the Fantastic Four. I could have talking about Doomsday first, but like what was my train of thought? Yeah, I was that like in awe of Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, and then also as Captain America. So when I heard that someone else was playing Johnny Storm, I was like, oh, okay, it's not. No, I will fully eat my words there. Joseph Quinn was incredible as the Human Torch. They made him, he still had that womanizing charm about him, but he was smart, and it actually kind of played into. He was smart, and he was also very vulnerable, which is something that I feel like often gets neglected with the character, and that's why I don't really care for him as much, because he doesn't have that vulnerability that it doesn't have that complexity that comes with that vulnerability. And I just think that the way that they handled Johnny in the film was excellent, and it made him a much more likable character for me. Particularly the way he managed to decipher the Silver Surfer's entire language was just incredible, and I love the recognition he got for that. Often being like the dumb one of the team. Like no, they played into his intelligence, because they're all smart. They're all, obviously Reed Richards is the smartest man on the planet, but at the same time they all have their intellectual capabilities, and I think the film really did play well on it. I don't know why this turned into a Fantastic Four review. This was not the aim of this stream, but at the same time I might as well talk about it. Yeah, in terms of the Fantastic Four, it was solid film, and I am looking forward to seeing them back in Doomsday. Obviously I'm not as excited to see them back, but they are welcome additions. I do hope that they get I do feel that they're going to be integral. I mean, it's Doctor Doom. He is the Fantastic Four's, leading adversary, and I just don't see any sort of way that they don't have like a central role to defend. If anything, they're probably going to have the most central role in the film, and I have mixed feelings about that because obviously this is an Avengers film, like you know it's Avengers in the title. Otherwise, I should just call it like Ultimate Alliance, the movie or something. But no, they really are like paying homage to the fact that everyone is in this film and all hands are on deck, and I just love it. I think it's an excellent cast. Obviously, I'm most excited for the X-Men, and hopefully a couple of cameos from the original six. I know X-Men and Thor. I love Thor. My perspective on Love and Thunder changed, and not in a good way. I think that film was a lot lazier than I gave credit for. It just felt like a massive cop-out, didn't it? It was just a cop-out, but oh well. He's back with the Russo brothers. I just hope they take him in the Infinity War route, and he levels up even further. Because I think they need to set up. I think the Russo brothers need to set up. In fact, I'm going to play Thor as I talk about him. The Russo brothers need to set up Thor and Loki's reunion like never before, because I think this is going to be the last one they get. And I say that because I do think Thor, as much as he is probably my favourite of the well, I can't say that. The original, I look at the three as like Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America. I can't pick a favourite out of them. I love all three of them. Like, you know, it's like anyone in the UK who likes Neapolitan ice cream and you love the mix of them all together. Like, that is the best. Not just one, all three of them. They are the best. They are the Neapolitan ice cream of the MCU. But like, in terms of Thor, I don't know where his character goes from here. I know there's like talks of Thor 5. Personally, I think his character is on his way out, and it pains me to say because he's had one of the best arcs in the entire franchise. But I just don't know where they go with him, and I think sometimes you have to just allow a natural end rather than keep forcing it. And that's kind of what they did with Tony and Steve in a way. Like, because there is a ground for them to come back, and I'd love to see them come back. Like, they are, if they're coming back, my most anticipated returns, because I love Steve Rogers, I love Tony Stark. I think Anthony Mackie has done an alright job as Captain America. I much prefer... Sorry. That's me, I'm coming down with a bit of a cold. I much preferred Sam Wilson. My thoughts are just kind of jumping all over the place here. I much preferred Sam Wilson in Falcon and the Winter Soldier than I did Captain America Brave New World. I just think they fleshed him out better in that series, and in the film you kind of see that it went through a bit of a development hell. You know, directors leaving, reshoot after reshoots after reshoots, like an inordinary amount of reshoots for a film. And you know, they cut Seth Rollins' character. That film was a developmental mess, and I think as much as I did, you know, I did enjoy the film. I think that the problems it had ended up being very visible in the final production, which is sad to say because I wanted that film to do well. I loved Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so when I saw that the film was going to be followed up with the series was going to be followed up with a movie, I was like, that is excellent. I can't wait for it. And unfortunately, it was just a bit of a mess. And it's, you know, these things happen. It can't happen for the likes of Doomsday. It can't happen for Secret Wars or Spider-Man Brand New Day. Like, it can't. Like, I'm sorry, but those films have no room for error. But Captain America Brave New World was just a bit... I wouldn't say it was like absolutely, you know, dog crap. I'd say it was more unfortunate and underwhelming than you know. I don't understand why it was a Hulk film without Mark Ruffalo in it. In fact, I'd much rather have seen the Hulk team up with Sam Wilson than the rumors of him teaming up with Spider-Man in Brand New Day, because I just don't want a second Marvel film where the final battle is just the main character versus the Hulk or a Hulk-like figure. That would be really, really underwhelming for me. But yeah, I think going back to Thor and Loki for a bit, I really hope that Thor is the one to get the upper hand on Doom in the big fight. I know Sentry is now here and he is OP, but I want Thor to have that moment because I think he needs that moment after Love and Thunder. I think they turned him into a joke when he literally had a weapon strong enough to overpower a fully assembled Infinity Gauntlet. And then they just gave Mjolnir back. So they undid one of his big character moments from... Well, they undid several moments. They undid... Thor losing Mjolnir was like the catalyst to unlocking his true potential. That's why I thought Ragnarok was so good. And then, of course, Thor became the king of Asgard. I understand that they did that, why they did that in Endgame, but at the same time, I think they didn't follow it up that well. I thought the cool stuff with Love and Thunder was more about the Olympus and the gods. I thought that was really cool and quite exciting, but truthfully, I just think that the way that they handled it was quite lackluster, if you ask me, and that's why I really hope Thor gets a big triumphant epic moment in Doomsday and reunites with Loki. I think that is the honestly, I would take a Thor and Loki reunion over a Spider-Man and Iron Man one, because that one's not going to be how we all think, obviously, because Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doom. Spider-Man isn't reuniting with Iron Man. He's going to fight Doom, whether it's in Doomsday or Secret Wars, and then see that it is the face of Iron Man, and that's going to hopefully spur him on into getting the symbiote. But I'll talk about that in a bit, because that's Spider-Man on. But yeah, Thor and Loki, I can't wait for that. I need that to happen, in fact, and I really hope that it's at the Yggdrasil tree as well. I hope Thor... I don't want to see Thor be told what to do by Sam Wilson's Avengers. I feel like he needs to go out. He needs to go off Earth and find out what's happening with his brother and with Doom, because I feel like there's a lot of lore behind Doom's connections to the gods and magic and sorcery, and Loki. I feel like he is currently holding the multiverse together. And I think Thor needs to get out and find him. That's what I hope he does. I hope his journey is very similar to what he had in Infinity War. Obviously, where he met up with the Guardians, and then he found he forged Stormbreaker. And for God's sake, just let Mjolnir go. Just let it go. Mjolnir had an excellent run. Mjolnir is no longer has a purpose in the MCU. I think it lost its purpose after Hela destroyed it, and that was a great send off for the. Oh, I tell a lie. Steve picking it up. I think after we got that moment of Captain America wielding Mjolnir, which is probably one of the best moments in the entire franchise. I still get goosebumps when I see that scene today. But that was a great send-off for the hammer, and the hammer is not just an object. I feel like they've quite clearly established that Mjolnir has become a bit of a character in its own right, and I just hope that they put it to rest, and because the whole point of him losing Mjolnir was to set up him unlocking his true potential, as I said before. And Stormbreaker was the first time where it didn't feel like that was controlling his powers, but enhancing it. Odin's spear, it didn't control Odin's powers, it just gave him more. And I feel like that's what made Stormbreaker so good, because Thor finally had a weapon that was worthy of fighting Thanos. And you know, we saw in Endgame, Steve had Mjolnir, and he did an amazing job against Thanos. Like, you know, put him on his arse quite a couple of times, but even then, Thanos still got the upper hand. And I just feel like Stormbreaker is a much better weapon. I'm talking about this like it's so serious. It's not. It's just a weapon. But for a story perspective, I feel like Thor would stand a much better chance against the likes of Doctor Doom and even Sentry for that matter with Stormbreaker than he ever would with Mjolnir. Just let Mjolnir. Just let it go. Just let it go. Honestly. But yeah. Anyway, what should I say? Spider-Man and Doom. Not that one. As cool as it is. So I've seen a lot of like reports that Tobey Maguire is currently filming. Is not filming, but currently in London. Now I feel like people are just looking into it. The dude could just be on a holiday. Like, come on. He could literally be on a holiday. He could be filming Doomsday. I hope he's not filming Brand New Day. I love the bloke, but just please to God, let Spider-Man have one film where he's not constantly relying on other people to do his job for him. I thought No Way Home was the perfect film to bring back Tobey and Andrew in the Spider-Man films, but if they're gonna unless Sony makes a TASM 3 or a Spider-Man 4, the only place I want to see Tobey and Andrew is in the next two Avengers films. Like, that's it. I don't care about another multiversal Spider-Man film outside of Beyond the Spider-Verse. If they want to come back as a voice cameo in Beyond the Spider-Verse, that would be sick, because it's not tied to the MCU, but it's connected within the MCU, like Marvel Cinematic Multiverse, like it's all connected. But at the same time, I just think that, you know, I just don't want to see Tobey in a street-level Spider-Man film that is not his own. That might be heartbreaking for some to hear, but I'd rather see him again in Doomsday. And I think, you know, given that the fact they are currently filming Brand New Day and Doomsday back to back, like, or they're filming them simultaneously. Destin Daniel Cretton is filming Spider-Man Brand New Day, and the Russo brothers are doing Doomsday, and they're both currently in London. I don't think Tom Holland is going to have a big, if at all, any role in Doomsday, because of the fact that he's currently working on Spider-Man Brand New Day, and the fact that Tom Holland was working on the Odyssey as well with John Bernthal and Christopher Nolan. Like, that was a like, obviously he was working on that during the production process for Doomsday. So, you know, it's one of those. I don't think he's going to have a big role. I'd like to see a cameo. You know, maybe, I don't know, he's swinging around the city in his classic suit, and he sees the beginnings of the incursion and has to, like, jump into action, and we pick up with him again in Secret Wars. I do think he will have a big role in Secret Wars, and I do think it is his interaction with Doom where he will finally don the symbiote. I don't think he's going to get the symbiote in Brand New Day or his fifth film. That's if he does a fifth film. Like, you got to remember, Tom Holland, he's pushing 30. He's made several remarks about him wanting to start a family with Zendaya, and when he does start a family, he'd retire from acting. Now, obviously, if he's contracted to do all these other ones, which it doesn't sound like he is, given the way he's spoken in previous interviews, I think he's just taking the films as and when they come now, which is exactly what Robert Downey Jr. was doing at one point. He was just, you know, because he knew it was a good pay and all these kind of things. It's like, I don't blame the guy, because at the end of the day, he is just a human being that wants his own life. And I think, as amazing and as grateful as I feel like the whole fandom is for his work as Spider-Man in the MCU. I do feel like there will come a time where he'll just want to go and he'll want to do his own thing. And I think, you know, bearing in mind I'm a training actor myself, so I kind of get it. I get the exhaustion that such a high intense role can have on someone. Bearing in mind he does above and beyond, because you know, with a film there's so much more physicality to it, whereas with theatre it's like, I think the exhaustion comes from, I mean obviously we do like dance and fighting and stuff like that, but playing Spider-Man he has to have such a fit, like such an intense fitness regime and all these different things. So I don't blame him if he does at one point start to slow down. And I don't think he'll be one of those actors that is in the game until, you know, I do see Tom Holland leaving the industry quite, you know, within the next 5 sort of 10 years or so, considering he's got so much stuff going on outside of it, you know, with like his, the Brothers Trust charity, the Bureau, which I think is pretty cool. I actually don't drink anymore, but if I did drink beer, I probably would try that. I'm trying to cut out alcohol, but that's a whole other like separate thing. But yeah, in terms of how, like, where I think Doomsday is heading, I'm so excited, honestly. Particularly with the likes of, you know, the X-Men coming back. I'll talk a bit about them in a bit, but I love these characters. Like, I grew up, I was very fortunate being born in 2003, because X2 had just come out. The first X-Men was out, Blade was out, Iron Man was 5 years away, therefore the launch of the MCU was 5. So when I got older and I could start watching, you know, and start understanding these stories more, I had so much available to me at the time. I remember I took interest in Marvel around the age of like between like 5 and 6. So when I was growing up, things like Thor and Captain America and Iron Man were coming out, and then, you know, the Avengers. The Avengers in particular, I have quite personal memories with. Never got to see it in the cinema, but yeah, and there's a story behind that which I don't want to go into because it's quite personal to me, really. But there's a reason why I never got to go see it. So my dad's, I watched it with my dad, and I think it was from that moment where I was like, I love these films. I need these films in my life because they brought so much joy to a very, you know, to some very unhappy times. And that's something that, you know, whenever I had a lecturer at uni, he got fired because he was well, I'm not going to go into that, but he used to laugh at people for liking Marvel films, myself included. He actually quite badly embarrassed me in front of my whole group for it. But like, the thing that they didn't understand is that the reason why I care so much about these films is because they got me through some really, really dark times, and, you know, it's something I don't take for granted. So to see my childhood's heroes come back, and this is going back from Deadpool and Wolverine as well, because I love Hugh Jackman as an actor and as a performer, because he's so much more than just an actor. You know, he can sing, he can dance, he can act, he can fight, he can do all of these different things. Like, there's no limit to his ability, and that's why I do feel like he will always be the Wolverine, not just any Wolverine, but the Wolverine, playing the role that, you know, 25 years, potentially coming back in Doomsday. I know it's been highly speculated. I do think he'll get a smaller role. What I'm kind of hoping happens with Doomsday and Secret Wars is that Doomsday very much focuses on the likes of, you know, your James Marsden Cyclops, your Ian McKellen Magneto, Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier, and then Secret Wars have, you know, Hugh Jackman take. because we did, in all fairness, just get an entire Deadpool and Wolverine team-up film with so many cameos and comebacks from the Fox era. So to have the rest of them come back, and I do believe that will also include the likes of Famke Janssen and Halle Berry as Storm. I do think that will include, you know, Jean Grey and Storm, or Aurora Monroe in Doomsday. I just think they haven't been confirmed yet. I know Halle Berry has denied it several times, or she's at least denied it once, to my knowledge. But yeah, you can, after Andrew Garfield tried to deny his involvement in No Way Home, I feel like there's only so much you can actually take of an actor's word these days, which is sad because, you know, that might set people up for disappointment at times when they don't actually show up. But I don't know, I think it's a 50-50 of Storm coming back. She is quite an important member of the X-Men, and Jean is one of the original X-Men, so if she doesn't come back, then I'm actually gobsmacked. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where you know, things go with the X-Men, particularly with the original cast coming back, and also with the success. I don't know where my stutter's coming from today. The success of the recent X-Men '97 and the sort of the resurgence of the X-Men in you know, in modern sort of media. It's been amazing. Like, it's been absolutely brilliant seeing these characters come back after such a long time due to the whole licensing issues, and to have them all back under one roof. It's like, why can't we have this with Spider-Man? Just make better content with Spider-Man. And that's not a dig at any of the movies. Just you know, it's a bit of a. I think with Spider-Man, you can kind of tell part of that deal is that there has to be another like established Marvel character in those films, whether it is, you know, Iron Man, Nick Fury, Doctor Strange, or in this case the Punisher and Hulk. Which, you know, say what you want about that. As long as it's a good film, I'm happy. I'd just much rather had Hulk team up with Captain America. That's all. But yeah, like with the X-Men, I'm kind of gobsmacked at the back. I remember I was watching the 5-hour live stream with you know, with my dad and my brother, and I just remember cheering, seeing Patrick Stewart and then Ian McKellen afterwards. I was screaming. I was so like excited because I love Ian McKellen. I love his work as, you know, as Gandalf and all these other amazing, fantastical roles that he's done. And I think his role as Eric Lensher is just, it's brilliant. Like, I don't know what else to say on that. It is brilliant. It is amazing. And yeah, I can't wait for it. I'm very excited because obviously this is my last year of uni, so for this year at least, my focus is going to be on my degree. But once I finish my course, there is another, I want to say, graduation's in the July, so if I go from the July, there is another, call it 4 months left, and then, or like 5 months left until the end of the year. And within that time, I want to start doing like a Doomsday, like Avengers saga, like recap, going over things like, you know, the Avengers saga, the X-Men films, or at least the good ones. The Spider-Man ones, Fantastic Four, and all that kind of good stuff. I'm not doing a full Infinity Saga one again, because as much as I loved it, I just feel like it's a bit pointless, because this is not the Infinity Saga, it's the multiverse one. But I will include the likes of the Avengers films anyway, and I might add in Civil War, just because it feels like a bit of a weird, it feels like too big of a jump going from Age of Ultron to Infinity War when so much happens in between. So I'll include Civil War in there, and I might include the Thunderbolts in as well, because technically speaking that is like an unofficial Avengers film, with it being the new Avengers. Rewatched that recently. I thought it was amazing. That's another film I loved it, and I'm now more excited to see the Thunderbolts back, or the new Avengers back. Actually, more excited to see them than some of the like original Avengers. Well, not original, but like, you know, Sam Wilson, Shang-Chi. Not that I dislike Shang-Chi, but I just prefer Bucky Barnes. Like, it's quite simple. But yeah, I forgot what else I was going to say. I'm just really excited to see what happens. I think Secret Wars is going to be the finale of Marvel as we know it. You know, and I think that's going to be a very sad day when, you know, after 20 years you do see the likes of recasted actors and the whole new saga. There's a couple of things I'd like to see from the next era, particularly surrounding like the mutants and the Fantastic Four, and I want to see more of the street level stuff, because Daredevil Born Again is my favourite show that Marvel have made. In fact, it's probably my favourite original show on Disney Plus, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I've seen quite a few of them. Born Again is my favourite. I don't care what anyone says. It's just the way I feel. I loved it. I absolutely loved Born Again. It was just, yeah, it was incredible. But yeah, it's been a really fun. Sorry, I thought someone at my door. Yeah. Speaking of which, I was expecting a parcel today. I'm quite annoyed about that. Because I've been needing to do a food shop. And I just haven't been able to go out because I haven't actually had it arrive. It's like, well, if it don't arrive, then I'm not going to get it. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to go. I've got an appointment tomorrow, and after that I'm going to go shopping because I do not have the money or the lifespan to be living on constant takeaways, as nice as they are. Yeah. I just have a bit of a ramble to apologise. That's why I like doing these. I just haven't been able to do them for such a long time. Yeah, I forgot where I was going with this. I did do a full Daredevil watch this year. I watched all 4 seasons, so seasons 1 through 3, Born Again. I watched both seasons of The Punisher and the Defenders, so my sort of like interests in Daredevil and Punisher have just shot up. I would much rather a Daredevil team up than a Hawk one for Spider-Man. Love that Punisher's back in Brand New Day. Like, that is something I'm ecstatic about. But I'd rather see Spider-Man team up with them. And when I say team up, I mean like actually contribute, not just be constantly led by them, because that is a bit of a gripe that I've had with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, is that he's always feels like he needs a mentor. When I'm like, Homecoming proved that you don't. You just liked having one with Tony, and I don't know. It's one of them. It felt like at the end of No Way Home, he'd finally learned to trust himself through the support that he had with Toby and Andrew. And I really hope that it's not like a whole, oh, Mr. Castle's here, blah 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 blah, you know, like that. I want to see Spider-Man actually condemn Frank for his ways, because they're both very different. And I hope there's a bit of a scrap between Spider-Man and Punisher, and I hope that if Peter does get the symbiote, Frank's the one who's like, okay, even I wouldn't go this far, and has to sort of rein him in a bit. But yeah, that's just kind of like what I'm hoping for. I say that, might as well have the Punisher. I've actually got him here. Yeah, Punisher and Spider-Man. Again, not that suit. I like the FF suit, but I just prefer the classic one. But yeah, I can't wait for Brand New Day. The suit, I want to talk about the suit because I've seen a lot of mixed reactions to the suit. I really like it. I think the web shooters are quite clunky and a little bit. It's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, I'd have made him smaller rather than just like obnoxious silver. But the rest of the suit, I think it looks amazing. Like it looks so good. I really wish this was an actual Lego set. This van here. Hopefully with Brand New Day there's one. But yeah, I absolutely loved the suit reveal. I thought that was so cool, and the fact that they were filming in Glasgow. I've never been to Scotland before. I know it's one of my dad's like dream destinations to go to. I'm not that bothered about it personally, but to have it being filmed in Scotland is just incredible. Like it's just amazing, honestly. Like I love it when films do that and you can watch the process. Because I don't think it really gives much away. Like I know there was a tank with a demon symbol on it, so a lot of people are speculating that's tied to Mr. Negative, which if that's the case, good on them, because they're clearly taking more inspiration from the Insomniac games, which, to be honest, one of my favourite things about No Way Home were the Easter eggs and the references they had to that game, with the likes of, Aunt May's headstone being you help someone, you help everyone. A lot of the fight choreography resembled No Way Home with the combo moves. The literal ending of the film is a mirror image of the game's opening, which I thought was incredible. So if they do more of that in Brand New Day, I'm very happy. And the reason why is because the game is my favourite version of Spider-Man. Like, it's my favourite version. I know a lot of people didn't like Spider-Man 2. It's my favourite game. It's my favourite single-player game of all time. Yes, I played God of War and Red Dead 2. I loved it. I loved it. I loved the story with Harry and Venom and Craven, and it was just amazing. They made Miles such a good character. Like, they gave him such a beautiful story, and I'd say he had more progression in Spider-Man 2 than he did his own game, which I loved his own game. I thought it was great, but at the same time I thought, yeah, they really did push Miles in the right direction here. So if they can follow through with that with the third game, I'd be very happy. But anyway, back to the movies. This is a movie-based stream. I absolutely loved the sort of references they had to the first game in No Way Home. I really hope that they bring that back for Brand New Day. Perhaps even go as far as to give him the symbiote abilities when he eventually gets the symbiote, give him the same sort of symbiote abilities as he had in the game, because I just thought that was so different. Because normally with the symbiote, he just treats it like it's another suit, except he's physically stronger from it. We don't actually see him use any of the symbiote power set that Venom uses. I would love to see Spider-Man do the Venom punch, the symbiote punch, the Tempest, all the different things that abilities and moves that he could do in the game. I'd love to see that in a film. Again, it's my favourite version of the character, so why wouldn't I? But yeah, I just adored all of that, and I hope that they kind of go in on that with the next game, or the next film, sorry, which I'm really excited for. I don't know how many times we've said that, but in case you hadn't noticed, I am pretty excited. Yeah, that's going to be an expensive week though, because Spider-Man comes out and just like a few days before Toy Story 5 does, and I know I am in the list of people that thinks Toy Story should have ended with the third one, but at the same time, had we not got a fourth, I'd have never have been able to take my sister to see it. And the reason why that is so special to me is because that was my sister's first trip to the cinema. My first one was to see Toy Story 3. So, for very sentimental reasons, that's why I always care whenever there's a Toy Story film out. But the fact it's coming out the same week as Spider-Man, I'm like, oh great, so I'm going to have to save. You know, my plan was after uni, I'd have a bit of a holiday and a bit of a break, but hello, one above all, hope you're doing okay. Hope you're doing well, my friend. It's good to see you, it's really good to see you. Like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just going to try and save up a little bit for that, because that's going to be an expensive week. But yeah, I think with Doomsday, I'm so happy that Doomsday is like going out like over a year's time, because they have more time to get it right, and they have more time to make it the best film they can possibly make. And I just think it's going to be like bonkers. It's going to be absolutely bonkers what they bring with that. At first I was a bit gutted about the delay, because I was kind of hoping to make it like my end of uni thing, but I've got that with GTA 6 instead, so I'm all fine. Which, by the way, I'm probably going to do quite a few live streams of. I don't know if I'll do it on YouTube though, just because if I do stream any of the story, I don't know how like graphic it's going to be with like. I mean, the violence stuff I'm fine with. I've played Mortal Kombat on stream. I've played, GTA, Red Dead. I've played many games, but in terms of like I'm just a bit, and I'm kind of diverging away from Marvel a bit here. But with Doomsday, not Doomsday, with GTA 6, I am strongly like adamant that there's probably going to be quite a. I reckon there's going to be a sex scene, and I don't really want to show that on stream. The reason why I think there's going to be a sex scene is because in the trailer there's constant scenes with like quite intense flirting and a bit of like that, and also the main characters are a couple. I'm like, well, couples tend to do that stuff. It's like, we play this game, I haven't played it in years. Honestly, this game is one of my childhood favourites. I had to like pick it back up again for this stream. I mean, to be fair, I've had the game like for years. I remember I actually had this game on the PS3 as well, and then I got it for the PS4, now playing it on the PS5. I love this game. Very excited for Lego Batman, which I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do a walkthrough of the game, because I'm gonna play that with my brother. My brother's 25 next month and I'm 22, but we used to play Lego games together all the time when we were growing up, and we played through the Skywalker saga when that came out 3 years ago. So it's just something, it's got to happen. Like, obviously, if there's a new Lego game, we're going to play it together. So that I won't be streaming the playthrough of the story, but maybe some open world stuff. We'll see. I'll probably end up playing that ahead of like any like Batman films that come out, because I know there's quite a couple. I know there's two that are currently scheduled to come out. Yeah, with this game, oh man, I have so many memories with this game. Like, yeah, this game got me through some really, really bad times as a kid, and I'll always come back to it. I'll always make time for it. It's actually one of the very few Lego games I have all the characters for, which, you know, this game, in my opinion, had probably the best character roster of any Marvel game that has come before or since. You know, you've got the Avengers. I mean, Rivals is doing a good job with its character roster, and like they're getting Daredevil in. They're getting some quite obscure characters in as well, with Angela and Jeff and Luna. I mean, Luna and Jeff weren't even like a thing back then. Back when this game came out, that's why it makes it so special, because there's not even, you know, like they're not a thing anymore. They weren't a thing back then, so for them to be here, it's like, oh, this is pretty special. I played this game with my brother, and we just drive around the map exploring, great fun. Yeah, that's the best part about it, mate. Honestly, like, you can just get lost in this game for hours and hours and hours. During my year off, I was playing this game so much because I just needed that kind of wholesomeness and that kind of just adventure that you get with these games. And like driving around and discovering the map is the best. It is the best. Truly one of the best Lego games ever made. I think the other two Marvel games were both good. Avengers and Marvel 2. They were good, but nothing compared to this game. Avengers I've made some time again for recently. Just because I wanted to play through it again. I really enjoyed it when it first came out. The second one, it's not as good. Not as good at all. It came out during the silent boycott of the X-Men and Fantastic Four, is what I'm going to call it. The silent boycott, because the rights issue hadn't been sorted out yet, and it was in full swing at that point. You know, no X-Men, Fantastic Four, Wolverine, Deadpool, all that stuff. That was Gwenpool, but not Deadpool in it. So this game, it has everything. If you want other hub worlds, then fair enough, I get it. It's lacking in that department because it's just got Manhattan and the helicarrier. But then at the same time, I feel like that's enough. Like, for a game of its time, that is more than enough. You know, you've got a massive Manhattan map. I was actually quite underwhelmed by Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, because I wanted a Gotham City like the size of this Manhattan, and it's taking them, unless you include DC Supervillains, where it's like half Metropolis, half oh no, that was Dimensions, never mind. DC Supervillains got it right, but Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight will have like a massive Gotham, which I'm very excited to glide around like it's an Arkham game. Yeah, the best thing about this game is just it's just everything, isn't it? Sorry, I don't mean to be rude. I am gonna have a quick drink because my throat is getting pretty dry from talking. See, unless I'm rehearsing my lines of dialogue, I don't really talk much. So it's a bit of a weird thing to, like, you know, my throat gets pretty dry, and also I'm a little bit under the weather, just a tad. A little bit of a cold, but we move. Yeah, one above all, how are you doing? How are you doing, my friend, if you don't mind me asking? Sorry it's not a rival stream tonight, but, oh hello, third viewer that's just entered. I think, I don't know. Yeah, I thought, you know what, I'm going to give Rivals a break, because that game does make me quite angry at times. But yeah, I hope you're doing well anyway. Oh, that's cool, come visit Wakanda. Yeah. In terms of future streams as well, I'm probably going to. I came on tonight because I was quite, you know, to be honest, quite bored. Didn't really have much to do. I was waiting for an Amazon parcel, but it's not turned up. So I'm like, okay, that's going to be chased up, because I'm not, you know, paying like 15 quid for a laundry basket and, you know, not going shopping because I needed to wait for that to arrive, and it's not arrived, so I have no food in. I have been able to eat, don't worry, but like not stuff that you should eat on a regular. So I'd like to go for a walk and get all my shopping in tomorrow. Yeah. Why I'm having a ramble about that, I don't know. It's been annoying because like I hate moving, right? I hate moving. I've moved quite a lot of times in my life. Nearly all of my moves have been uni-based. I was so organised in my first year. I had everything with me. But this year, I was just so, like... Because I knew it was unplanned. Like, I was meant to finish last year. Not going to go over why I didn't, because that's not stream-friendly, I'm afraid. But, like... Where was I going with this? This year, I was just like, I can't be arsed with the move, so I'm just not gonna, bother packing as much. I've spent like 50 quid replacing things I already have because I left them back in my... I'm not gonna swear. My bloody hometown. Oh, that's a bit of a swear. I don't care. Bloody this, but I don't care. But I spent 50 quid on new bedding and other bits. I'm like, why? Oh, actually, no, tell you what, I knew I wanted to replace my bedding. That was a given. I wanted to replace it. Wanted to replace it for a while. But I'm doing well, so I haven't... doing well so far. I haven't done much except sleep most of the day. To be fair, sleep's not the worst thing one person can have. It's really not. Sleep is great. As someone who has trouble getting to sleep, when I do wake up and I'm like half asleep still, it's a great feeling because I'm like, oh, great. But getting out of bed is not fun. Yeah, fair play to you. Catch up and rest whilst you can. That's my best piece of advice. Because when things come up and it's like, oh, I find it harder to get to sleep when you know you have something to do. And that's such a weird feeling, but like it's easier going to sleep on a Friday when I have no plans for the weekend, and ideally I'd like to stay up and just chill. But when it comes to like, I don't know, a Monday or a Tuesday night going in for the start of the week, I'm like, I can't get to sleep here. This sucks. Like, this is actually awful. It's one of the things, like when I was working, I'd find myself like, oh, okay, I don't have to be in until this time because my job was quite flexible with different times. But at the same time, like, I try and go to bed at a reasonable hour. A lot of the times, not so much, like, not so reasonable. I was just like, I can't sleep. But then again, I have very poor sleep hygiene. So it's just, that's a me thing. But sugar lumps, my phone's on low battery. I mean, we can go for a bit longer. I don't see why not. We can go for a bit. When did I... Yeah, 15... Oh, nearly an hour. That's pretty good going. To be honest, I stream simply because I just want to. Like, I don't get any sort of monetary profit off it. I don't do, like, super chats or donations. I just do it because I like to talk sometimes. Not often. But when there's something that isn't political or isn't going to get me cancelled or God knows what, I like to talk about it, and 9 times out of 10 it's to do with fiction. Same, bro, when I have anything, when I don't have anything that same, bro, when I don't have anything that is, when I'm tired compared to when I do, that's when life decides to come alive. I completely get you. It's so frustrating at times because you might have something like really important. You know, you might have like a job interview, or you might have like a college or school assignment that needs doing, and you like you get it done. Like you go to bed preparing for it, but your brain just doesn't switch off, and then you do it, and it's like, oh, I can just sleep. And I was like, oh god, it's so annoying. But to be fair, I like to say is once you're done with that thing, your reason to go to sleep, go to sleep straight away reduces. So therefore, you technically have more time to do stuff that you want, and just do it until you get tired and know you'll have a good sleep that night. That's just kind of probably not the healthiest way. I mean, by no means am I a healthy, like, you know, healthy living person, so I wouldn't give the best advice. But at the same time, we're all human beings at the end of the day. It's like our bodies respond differently to different situations, and I think sleep is quite a common one, especially when it comes to everyday like pressures and expectations that, you know, people are put under these days. I love how this has gone from a Marvel stream to well, technically it was never a Marvel stream. I just titled it as the original Avengers Doomsday, and that's because it is. You know, this game has the cast of Doomsday in it, other than a couple of the Thunderbolts and like some of the new Avengers. But you know, at the same time, it's like it's not a Marvel specific stream. I will talk about other things, but yeah, with sleep, I often find that it's harder when you don't have, like, I think sleeping is a lot harder when you don't have the like a mental, like, I'm trying to word this correctly because I don't want to, I know that when I say I don't want to offend anyone, I'm literally referring to myself here, because my mental health is like, it's not great. But when you do struggle, or like if you have got struggles and like pressures on you, sleep is naturally a harder thing. But then there's also circumstances where it's like, you just kind of, sometimes you just get to sleep and you don't. And I don't know what it is. It's very hard and it's very annoying to like actually process, but it's just something that is quite a common thing these days. I think a lot of people I speak to, they say they have struggles sleeping, or they oversleep or undersleep. Like, it's a very common thing these days, and I'm glad it's been normalised, because in that way it feels like the stigma behind it is gone. But then I feel like because it's becoming more normalised, more should be done about it. But I'm not going to say much on that because I don't want to get political with medicines and stuff like that. I'm just not. See, that's a whole separate conversation. Like, I won't want to talk about something, not because I'm scared of getting cancelled or in trouble, because particularly I'm not someone that has, oh, that's cool. They changed his animation. I don't know, probably have. But I'm the kind of person, I got opinions on stuff, but at the same time, I'll sometimes be like, well, my opinion doesn't add or change anything, so I'm just going to keep it to myself. That's why I don't really like talking politics on YouTube. I think I've done it a couple of times. I think the one time where I did, and I mean, it's the one time I did, but at the same time I could have done it more, but it was just the same point. It's like, I don't know what to say, because I've already made the point, and that point was when it was the Euros 2021 finals, when England lost, and those racist, I don't know how to say it without swearing. Oh, sod it, it was one of those racist dickheads that were just kicking off. It's like, it's so much worse now, but I don't know what to say on the matter. I don't condone it, I'm disgusted by it, but I'm kind of going political now, aren't I? It's sorry. I'm just going off on one. Yeah, I try and avoid politics just because I do the reason why I act and the reason why I like telling stories is because it's an escape from that. So I like to try and keep my plot. If it's something that is extremely like, okay, I have a view on this and I have to get it out, then yeah, maybe I will talk about it. Like, certain events that have happened recently. It's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say on the matter. I don't think my opinion adds anything to the conversation. I feel like I'm just one person with a very quiet and shy voice, so therefore I just won't. If it's like an opinion related to like uni or something, well, yeah, I have to give that. But if it's something on a political manner, I'm like, I don't know what to say. And if I have got something to say, I'll either keep it to myself or I'll just have it in like a general one-to-one conversation than just post it all over, because you can't, there's not really much you can say anymore. And there's like a very thin line between what is hate speech and what is considered okay. I'm like, I don't know. My definition of hate speech is probably very outdated. And that's something I'm gonna work on that at my own pace, because media training is a very useful thing to have in this day and age, especially in the industry that I'm hoping to go into. So media training is something that I would love to undergo, just how to actually like speak correctly to like the press and things like that. Or like in any interview. I just feel like it's a useful skill, and it's a skill I don't have. So rather than pretending to have that skill and making a tit out of myself, I'd rather just steer clear of that conversation. It's just kind of how I roll at the moment. Until I've got something to say that I think can make a difference, I'm just not going to say anything. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to I don't even know where that came from, to be honest. Just started waffling. Yeah. My apologies, just started waffling. I should probably get to sleep soon, because I have got an appointment at 11 in the morning, but it's over the phone, so I'm like, I just don't want to wake up and have the call and I'm like half asleep, because I'm not going to get any benefit from that. But yeah, it's just one of them. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, it's been a good stream, to be fair, good hour. So I'm going to enjoy just chatting for a bit longer, and then I'm going to have a smoke, and then probably start winding down for the night. I want to say it's a vape. Two, 1, 2. Okay, cool, I can be heard again. Right, sick. Yeah, sorry, controller died, and because of that the headphones weren't connected and blah blah blah, all that stuff. I'm finding it so hard not to swear. Like, I just don't swear on YouTube. I used to, but you know, when you're a kid and you just, you know, like when you first hit puberty, and then you just start saying every swear word you can because you realise your mouth has got the physical. For those who are, you know, verbal, they've got the physical capability of saying those words. And then the older you get, and like, why? I wasn't funny or cool. It's just embarrassing. I don't know. I try and avoid swear. I'm a very sweary person simply because it helps me expel frustration. That is why I do it. I'm a very, and I don't want to sound like pretentious or anything, but because of the academic training that I've had, I feel like I'm a very well-spoken person at times, particularly in writing. I'm very well-spoken in writing, but I don't want to be speaking like I'm a posh pillock all the time. So therefore, swearing is a very useful sort of expulsion for me. Yeah. Yeah. He now does that. I thought he never used to. I don't know. It might just be me, but yeah. I am probably going to wrap up this stream. To be honest, I'm starting to feel quite tired and also a little bit under the weather, so I'm probably going to call it there, and then hopefully pick one back up. I used to swear a lot, but I stopped just because I don't. An everyday thing. That's just me. No, that's completely fair. That is completely fair. I feel like sometimes when it's excessive swearing, it's like, why? I do think swearing is good for a punchline. Like sometimes, or at least like the delivery of a swear can be funny. That's why I like Scousers so much. Whenever they swear, it just sounds really funny. But that's like an accent thing. If the accent's funny, I will swear in that accent because I think it's comedy. I think it's, you know, quite humorous. I think swearing can be a very funny thing at times, as well as a you know, anger and rage and all that kind of crap. And to me, crap's not a swear word. I'm just putting that out there. Crap is not a swear, at least in my eyes. If anyone disagrees with that, fair enough. I'll have a combo about it. But yeah, I'll say crap over the long day because it just feels mild. In fact, it feels quite cringe. But yeah, probably going to be it for this stream. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's watched, whether you've popped in and out, and particularly the one above all. Thank you so much. This is the second stream. You've been the leading star, and I'm really grateful for your support, mate. Yeah, it's been excellent. So that is me signing out.
I just saw someone who looked exactly like me. It's like they could have been my twin. Hi there.